All right, it's July 31st, 2021. Star 1978, star 8378. I was just up on the avenue. I'm sorry, on Bell Boulevard, Parasol and Promenade, and I was listening. There was three different bands that were up there, and I said to several people, I'm just like, I really miss classical music with no words. That's really what I missed tonight. But it being what it is, I went up. I was walking with my umbrella or parasol for whatever reason. They saw I was there. There were cameras out. It was a civilian event. I was the civic, and that's it. I did mention several factors to a bunch of different populations. One, the woman that works security, she's tan, but she's more blonde. I would say she's blonde, like myself, like blondo. I mentioned, and she was standing next to a dark-skinned fellow. I mentioned about missing the metrodome, like a precise beat. I said the sliding of the jazz scale of you don't know how it's gonna play out. I'm like, the environment feels like that. You don't hit that groove. I was like, that's why I like hip hop. I was like, and R&B that they played on mainstream radio, like 97.1. That I've liked because at least that had a steady beat and you could follow it, like in that groove.
There's a whole gang of Mexicans in front of our house.
Is it really?
Cool.
All right.
No, they're not Mexicans, they're black people.
All right, relax. So anyway, so I said, there's a CYBERKNIFE. There's something called in cyberspace, cybergenetics. There's CYBERKNIFE. It's when high volts of electricity and microwaves hit a specific spot over and over and over and over again. It's almost like if I was walking in physical space and kept hitting the table with my knee. So it's almost like chopping my knee off right here, so the entire hinge joint of bending no longer works. I think it's jujitsu. I mean, I say it's military, like the Atari. I mean, when I went for training, he was like, listen, he's like, I mean, like, not you because you're a girl and you wouldn't be in street fights, that whatever, because I don't go after girls, but like, if I'm out in whatever I do for a living, he's like, and somebody, whatever, in your words, whatever, he's like, I'm going for their knees. If they're a threat, they're coming at me in self-defense, I'm going straight for their knees, I'm taking them out, and then I'm just going to do whatever I do and, like, making sure they don't get back up to walk. And I'm like, right, okay. He's like, I'm like, and why are you telling me this? And he's like, well, no, because I think in your whatever you do for whatever recording for us, a spokesperson of some sort on safety, you should know that there are people out there that's their main function, is like they get paid for it, and it's a legal, okay thing to do. They're expected to be able to protect themselves. I'm like, all right. He's like, so he goes, if you ever are in a medical situation where your knees start going out and you can't explain why, he's like, just make sure you mention that it is a real thing, that when you are in a tactical mindset, you usually street fight, you go for the knees. So this way you take your opponent out and then it's not able to, you injure its motility is really what it is. Mobility and motility. So I'm like, right, okay. So now I've got a gigantic, it's almost like as if I hit my knee over and over and over again, and then it blew up like a water sack underneath. That's what my knee joint feels like, just above, if this is my cut in my knee, it's like just right about here.
Maybe.
It's deep tissue. It's a deep-seated issue. It's interstitial. It's deep space interstitial. When you go for Swedish massage, it's usually a deep tissue massage. They go deep inside to move and circulate the plasma and the fluid and the whatnot, so you have better circulation. I don't have access to that right now because my funds are low. I have no access to money or employment. So I have no way of acupuncture or massage of any kind, and that's a problem. So I know that part of the physical realm between the anatomy and the environment, I'm in climate change. They changed my Century 20 into the wrong position by zodiac, by weaponry, by a whole lot of things. And now I'm having trouble in recovery. I can't seem to heal in a sleep to wake cycle. My my face, I don't have facial hair. I have different skin on my face than I have on the rest of my body.
Can you give me that with salsa?
It is unlike a male's face that has a hairline, not my kind, but whatever. So some people, like my father, has hair here. So he has a different follicle type and a different texture to his skin. I am immune compromised, meaning the ability to self-heal has been lessened by some outside environmental factor. And I'm not able, this is a chemical burn. It's almost like a peel of the skin in just one section, and it's not self-healing. I had a conversation with another gentleman tonight. He said, well, he's like, what do you do? And I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know anybody who has skin like I do. I was like, but I know it's an environmental change, and I know the fact that I keep going to bed and getting back up in New York, Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361, it's some kind of radio wave or microwave that's interfering with my ability to self-heal. On top of that, my knees being taken out, that's a problem. Now, this movie, Shazam, it's got a date of 2019, and this is a thistle. This is an old Dutch thing.
But you're saying that other people have experienced this?
In a sense, yes. Do you remember what he said to you?
He tested me. There were these statues. Their eyes, it's like they were looking at me, making me think
That's the Gothic era
And do these approximate what you saw?
of Baroque, Baroque.
That's exactly how I remember it. I don't understand
An
how
antiquated
Current
knowledge.
imagery has proven very common in cases of mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria.
I know, the term's a bit theatrical, but take
Okay, hysteria would be high, H-Y, and stereo would be a stereo that they're speaking about. Usually it's like, what's the tagline, what's the headline that the Americans are portraying? There's some theme or thematic throughout society that the whatever's putting out there, and there's some kind of patriot game going on. But what are the humans, how are they deciphering it? Are they like up to snuff? Are they up to par? It gets confusing how they interpret the information.
But take UFO sightings, for example. Lights in the sky, flying saucers.
See this magic 8?
Isolated
That's my
incidents of
symbol.
People who do not know each other.
Symbols. Ask her about the symbols.
Okay, hold on a second. This is like watching Scary Movie in like real life. Okay, see this baldness with this chiseled jawline? This is what I'm gonna call the theatrical interpretation of genetic mark without having, this is, I call him Mark KGB, an American Mark, in a 2015 timeless piece him and I have together for other environmental things that were going on. But this part of his face is not the same as this actor at all. But the jawline works in CGI for being eerily similar, let's call it.
Ask her about the symbols.
Sorry, Miss Kwan. But as an example of recurring imagery, maybe you recall seeing these symbols before the alleged abduction?
Don't remember any symbols, no. I think I got it on video. There was something, I remember the numbers on my alarm clock, they kept shifting.
Video. Show me the video.
Miss Kwan, this is Dr. Savannah.
What's the most accurate and the most incredibly special time on a 12-hour scale of metric in human time? It's Alexander James's birth hour.
One moment, I can send it.
Hello? Oh my God. Who's there? Hello? What's going on? What's happening? I'm going to call the police.
Then this blinding light all around me, and I felt like I was getting pulled down innocently.
I don't have any access to any of these kinds of people. This is the entry I have not been able to enter because of whatever it is that you all are doing in space between astronauts, cosmonauts, and a cyber knife, and like lighting a candle at both ends being my rear end. I'm Centurion, Century 19, year 78 for born identity of Nicole Cattaruzza. Currently I'm standing in a Century 20, year 21.
I was convinced I had the incorrect sequence. Perhaps I'm wrong.
Movie came out 2019, but Genetic Mark and I, KGB Mark, American Mark, we were together in 2015.
7 symbols. The sequence repeated itself
So that this
7 times.
could be corrected.
That's the difference.
Is this some sort of joke?
It may seem that way to you, because we're not in actuality studying mass hysteria, what all these people have seen
Mass stereo system of what are the people saying?
is absolutely real.
It's part of the mental disease because they don't even know it's wrong and they keep guessing but jumping to the wrong conclusions. Their locomotion in locomotive
Believe any of this is real.
is off. What kind of steam do they have in their engine? Who built the engine? This is MCU, JCU,
Why, yes.
metrics. Are we at a human mile? A nautical mile? I mean, what are we traveling at right now? Feels like forever in a really bad way. Is it a miracle mile? I don't know. What gravy train did you hitch my, like, locomotive to? Because I really haven't benefited much. This guy makes a really loud statement about how all the others found their superior first
So long.
while leaving him in the lurch without a superior. That's superior and inferior complex of circumstances, let's call it at the moment.
I remember you. Word boy. Now you dare intrude in my kingdom.
You know what it's like for a child to be told you'll never be good enough?
This is Bible shit. I'm over
You
it.
said to me all those years
Nobody
ago,
told you weren't good enough, they just told you weren't allowed to get into certain areas. Stupid. And you all keep pushing yourselves in areas that you're not wanted. And then when we tell you no, you're like, oh my god, my feelings are fucking shitbags.
No! No!
And this has to do with this vaccine shit the kiddos are going through with COVID and vaccines. They don't even know what the words mean or the actions that they're supposed to be taking. It's really scary out here in New York. This is all of the superiors getting their neural networks out first before my arrival. We watched this scene take place in a different century. From like orb technology. ORB. I don't know the significance of genetic mark with this guy. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know his importance. I really don't care. You all know way more, and you have like so little like excuse for why we're in this position. But this electric fight between the two of them, I've seen it several times mentioned in humanity in their cinema and movie theater. Yet they develop me into being harmed through like almost an ALS type situation by that CYBERKNIFE deep tissue incision that then makes my knees not work as well as they should, along with other biological attacks by cyberspace.
Everybody chooses flight. You know why?
So they can fly away from this conversation?
No, because heroes fly. And who doesn't want people to think they're a hero, right? But invisibility, no way. I mean, that's perfect. Spying around on people who don't even know you're there, sneaking around everywhere. It's a total villain power, right?
Seems to be a total civilian power at the moment.
Then they did this study, and this is a real thing. They asked people the same question. You know, what power do you want? But this time, they made it so the answers were anonymous. And most people, since they knew that it was secret, said invisibility. And I think that's because most people don't feel like heroes on the inside deep down. You're gonna run away. I mean, you stole my Superman bullet. But dude, I get it. I get it. You've been screwed over way too many times. You don't trust anyone. That's the thing about invisibility. You're gonna go by yourself.
They do all sorts of things with the cinema and the incorrect character placement and whatnot, but then again, I can never tell if they're just telling the story the way that they allowed it to portray itself in portrait of real action, or are they in some wishful thinking theatrical moment and like loss of consciousness completely in cognitive dissonance that they're actually pushing purposely for all the wrong end results in some comedical satire because they're so tired of fighting the same fight and losing ground. It's really hard to fucking tell.
Your fake family to stand up for you? Stand up for yourself.